colleagues or in your own operations because of these interest rate hikes that have happened over the last year?
Yeah, definitely. It's if you use a credit line or you
Mhm.
borrow money, it's more expensive to carry that line. So you before people, just still would go along spending like nothing happened, and it took a little bit of time to realize that, hey, if we're using this money, it's costing a lot more. So now people are being very, uh, you know, I wouldn't say frugal, but they're being very discerning about what type of expenses they need to use borrowed money for. That
Mm.
it's going to, they're a pretty large company, but they built a lot of their business through acquisitions over these past decade. And when I was meeting with him recently, he mentioned that they're still looking to grow their business to a certain level, but right now he said they're looking at how much they can do it organically as opposed to acquisitions, because it's just so much more expensive now to do things through that route, growing your business as opposed to doing it organically.
I see. I
Versus,
see.
versus how expensive, how less expensive it was going back in the previous years, because
Right.
interest rates were, you know, easily half of what they are today.
So, like, one of the common points on that is like people who bought a house like in 2021 really lucked out. They had a 3% mortgage, and now it's like a 7.5% mortgage, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it might be at the exact moment. For like businesses though, like small businesses, I don't know like how free. I mean, obviously it varies greatly on what type of business you are. Like, I don't really get a good sense of how frequently a new loan comes up in certain business. How often, like maybe I is it something that affected you like immediately, or was it like after 3 to 6, 9, 12 months you suddenly did have a need for it? And you're like, oh, well, this is like totally different. So you know what I mean?
It's Well, it depends on what's going on in your business. For instance, we had to kind of unexpectedly at the end of this year, we had to invest in a lot of programming for this software that we have in existence, because we use it to connect with another software with our customers to you know help them order our product through us. And
Right.
unbeknownst to us, during late in the year, the other company explained that they were discontinuing that current version that they had,
Mm.
and they had to move everybody over. So they were had been in the process of doing that, but they kind of held us to the end of the line on it.
Got it.
And we kind of had to have it up and running by you know the the end of the first quarter of 2024.
Gotcha.
So all of a sudden we're like, all right, well, we've got to do this expense. And when we got together to get the quotes on it of how much it was going to do, the cost was way more than we thought it was ever going to be out of our budget. So that was an example. We had to borrow the money for that project. We couldn't take
Oh,
it
okay.
out
There you go.
of our
Okay.
regular things. So seeing at the interest rate that they were putting it at, it's like, oh, that's a lot more expensive than it was a couple of years. But that was a that was an expense that we had to have. If we didn't have that, we couldn't run our business with it, and it was more expensive. So uh, for capital expenses that you need to grow your business or you're going to get